News, Vice President Kamala Harris dismissing former President Trump's suggestion that she turned black for political reasons. It's her first interview as the Democrats' presidential nominee.
The vice president sitting down with CNN with her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. The interview focused largely on policy as the vice president sought to show that she had adopted more moderate positions like on fracking.
I would not ban fracking. As vice president, I did not ban fracking. As president, I will not ban fracking.
Courtesy of CNN, the vice president saying the most important aspect of her policy perspective and decisions is her values have not changed. Chris DeMeo, Fox News.
Former President Trump on social media posts about the interview. Boring. The former president in La Crosse, Wisconsin, saying he wants to expand access to in vitro fertilization.
We want more babies, to put it very nicely. And for this same reason, we will also allow new parents to deduct major newborn expenses from their taxes.
Fox's Garrett Tenney.
Reproductive rights have become one of the top issues for voters this election, particularly among women in battleground states. And President Trump has been trying to walk a fine line with his policy proposals for a second term by trying to win over more suburban women without alienating his pro-life supporters. Democrats have tried to make IVF an issue as well in Michigan, and then again at his town hall here in Wisconsin. Trump pushed back on that by announcing that his administration would not only protect access to IVF, he would mandate that either insurance companies or the government cover the cost of it for all Americans.
Former president, meantime, says he believes the 6-week abortion ban on the ballot in his home state, Florida, is too short. Israel's military agrees to pauses in the fighting in Gaza for United Nations Children's Polio Vaccine Drive. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey, checking in?
This is not just your flu shot appointment at Walgreens.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
This is getting your entire family vaccinated in one trip.
Hey, Mom?
And a snack on the way out. Get flu shots for everyone in your family, together. Schedule appointments online today. This is wellness made easy. Walgreens.
Vaccine subject to availability and for ages 3+. State and health-related restrictions may apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Former President Trump responds to criticism of an appearance at Arlington National Cemetery. Here's Fox's Gernal Scott.
The former president was accused by an Arlington Cemetery employee of using the grounds for political purposes. A video of the visit with the family of a fallen soldier was posted on TikTok. Speaking in Potterville, Michigan, former President Trump said he and the family did nothing wrong.
They asked me to have a picture, and they say I was campaigning. I don't need, the one thing I get is plenty of publicity. I don't need that. I don't need the publicity.
The cemetery employee said he was pushed and verbally abused by people with the former president. Election-related activity at a military cemetery is a violation of law. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
And the former president's asking to move his Manhattan criminal hush money case to federal court and have sentencing delayed while that request is considered. The current judge in the case is considering an earlier request to delay sentencing from September 18th to after the election. We're wrapping up a record-breaking summer travel season. Here's Fox's William Lajeunesse.
Whether you're traveling by plane or car, this Labor Day weekend, expect delays with millions heading out of town. Travel this holiday weekend is up from last year. Domestic bookings increasing 9%, according to AAA. Travel company Hopper says that's due in part to airfares falling about 5%. Analysts say travelers should expect long lines. While the TSA expects more than 17 million to fly this weekend, even more will be driving. AAA advises getting on the road early or late to avoid getting caught in commuter traffic. In Los Angeles, William Lajeunesse, Fox News.
European Union inflation falls to 2.2%. That's the lowest in 3 years, supporting the idea of interest rate cuts there and in the U.S. next month. I'm Chris Foster. This is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. A countywide residential electronics collection event being held this fall in Champaign County. It'll take place October 12th at Parkland College. Registration for the event opens on Monday. To attend, residents of participating Champaign County communities must register online in advance. Work begins next week on the Route 108 bridge over I-55 near Carlinville. Crews will begin painting and washing the underside of the bridge Tuesday. Weeknight lane closures and I-55 will be needed to complete that project, which is expected to be finished by the end of November. High school football kicking off, and it's going to be a special one for Muhammad Seymour. They'll be honoring longtime coach Frank Dutton after he passed away this past spring. Their helmets will have 2 decals on them for every home game. One will have his name on it, the other 77. In 1977, Muhammad Seymour won the state championship under his leadership. And that's what's happening. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. You're locally up to date from the Stevie Jay Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Well, that was fun. Tired, but fun.
Yes.
It was totally fun. We wanted to have fun. We're having fun. Way to go, Fighting Illini. They did what they came to do, and that was to beat a team you should beat. And they did it easily, and we got to see a lot of players. There are 24 football players that have never played at Illinois. So we got to see that. It was the biggest shutout, Greg Solier. Biggest
that what? Yeah.
Biggest shutout since 1973. Mm-hmm. Richard Nixon was president.
45-0. Did I hear that right?
Yeah, 45-0 over Eastern Illinois, who's picked to be second in their division of football. So they're not a bad team with a lot of older players. So what the heck?
That's a MAC school, I believe, is it?
No, not a MAC. No? Is it not MAC? It's in Northern. They play in Northern, don't they? Northern.
Yeah, we do play them. Yeah.
All right, the MAC. Okay, it is the MAC then. Anyway, we will. Is it? I don't know. Well, in any event, I don't think they're as bad as perhaps you might think if you see the score. So we'll see what they do during the year. Toledo came in there last year, and we barely beat them. Kind of got lucky to beat them, and they never lost again.
Yeah, that's a MAC powerhouse team.
Yeah, Toledo's really good. Anyway, it's great to have meteorologist Greg Solier on the phone and on the line here to talk a little bit about our weather forecast brought to you this morning by Carl.
Carl reminds you they're always looking for new members of the team. If you're concerned about community health and looking for an opportunity for growth, visit carl.org/careers.
All right, Labor Day weekend, 3 days. Hey, what are you seeing there, fella?
Well, we've got the second of 3 cold fronts to come through the area. That's lined up into parts of Iowa, up through Wisconsin. They've had some good soaking rains, 1 to 3 inches out of eastern Iowa, heading in through the northern reaches of the state from about just north of Chicago back towards Illinois. Those will begin to propagate and build in real spotty fashion here later on this morning. That front will come through the area late night tonight. It'll be just a slow winding down of humidity and dew point values for the day tomorrow, that is. But then that leaves us in a very comfortable air mass for the middle and late stretches of the holiday weekend, and quiet and uneventful here across our part of the world with weather in mind for next weekend. The tropics, too, remaining very quiet in the Atlantic, although there may be some substantial rains with a little disturbance out of the Gulf of Mexico at some point next week, again remaining well down south. Out the north this morning, 73 over at Willard and Savoy, 69 Rantoul, 74 up at Peoria. You run up a little farther northwest towards Galesburg, you run into a couple of showers there, 70 over at Danville. So turning partly sunny, hot, humid for the day today, up around 92. Rain chances slowly increasing to 50-50 later this morning, more so this afternoon. This will be widely scattered stuff to start. Don't foresee any widespread severe weather. Warm, humid for tonight. A couple of periods of showers and thunderstorms, garden variety. Lows down to about 69 to 70. Tomorrow cooler, less humid as the day wears on. A lingering little shower chance early in the day. And sunshine and a high temperature up around 83. Clearing off, cooler, good sleeping weather tomorrow night. Low down to 59. Sunny at 82 on Sunday. Monday, but cooler at 77 for the holidays. 78 on Tuesday. Much of the remainder of next week is dry, and daytime temperatures are seasonal into the lower 80s. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
All right, thank you so much. I did see, or at least heard from most of the first interview, if you want to put that in air quotes. It was taped 5 hours before they aired it, and presumably could have eliminated some things. Who knows if it was edited. Well, they asked Kamala Harris about a whole bunch of things, and we'll get to that here as we go on. Brother Johnny's going to jump on at the bottom of the hour, but very unsatisfying from what I heard regarding Joe Biden. Do you have any regrets? You said he was sharp as ever. Not at all.
Okay.
What about fracking? I made my case clear in 2020. I'm not going to frack. I'm not going to ban fracking. And I made it clear. No, you didn't. In 2019, you said, I'm going to stop fracking. So what are you to believe? And then she said, my values haven't changed. Well, that means you're a liberal San Francisco Bay Area prosecutor that is to the left of Bernie Sanders. That's the code, I think, when she said, my values have not changed. We have a climate crisis. She's for electric. So whatever she says, I wouldn't trust it. If she's telling you that she was not for fracking, not for banning fracking, you've got to say, wait a minute. You said it right there. I got video. And you don't have any regrets for saying how healthy Joe Biden was? Anyway, Tim Walz was sitting there, not sure why. Wanted to know what she's going to do in the first day, and she really didn't answer. Then looked at Tim Walz and said, what are you going to do the first day? I don't know. I mean, it just was... I could not sit and watch. The Illini were on. We had AAA baseball to track, and I wasn't interested.
Right. In
kind of a canned, staged, all the things were to her comfort level, but it was unsatisfying from the standpoint of if you're not for banning fracking, what changed? And why did you change your philosophy? And she'd probably say, I never did. Well, I got video of you saying you're banning fracking.
Mm-hmm.
Pennsylvania will not vote for you if that's true. Well, I'm not going to ban fracking. Okay. What do I do with that? What do I do with that?
So many Americans on the 40-second clip of what they're getting on social media are just looking at what's right in front of them,
You think
Stevie.
the men and women that are fracking don't know? You think that their jobs that pay very, very well, between $50,000 and $100,000 for sure, don't know what she believes? They're not going to go for that.
Right.
The fracking people aren't going to go for that.
But how's the rest of the country? Are we all paying attention to this? I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I don't either, but believe me, they're gonna want to know what they're getting. And this is a very far left. This is Rashida Tlaib. This is AOC. This is they're your president. Do you trust that? With tampons in the 4th grade boys' bathroom. That's your vice president. Your vice president who has very scary and creepy connections to China and their entire hierarchy. He's very, very much a fan of China. And China's our top adversary right now. And you got to watch them in Taiwan and watch them around the world. They took over Bagram Air Force Base. That's my Air Force Base. Anyway, a little more. We got the clips. We got
good.
Stuff we're going to play here. As we progress, I've got to play Kamala. I'm speaking.
Well, she didn't have to do that yesterday because she's with friendlies all around.
So friendly. So let's grab tea. Dana Bash asked some good questions. She didn't get good answers, but she did ask. But she, I'm sure, said, "I've got to ask you this." And I'm sure Kamala Harris said, "I understand," because they're ready for it. They knew what was coming. But Donald Trump did come up with a new nickname, which I found humorous. If you vote for Comrade Kamala.
So here's somebody
comrade means like communism.
Communism.
Yeah, right.
Someone texted in saying, I see her policy as fairly middle.
She's not. Oh God, please, Lord. Please.
Can you name a policy of hers that is more left than Bernie Sanders?
Yeah, it's very easy to name a policy left. Banning fracking. Bernie's for that, so it's not left. But she's further left on anything oil and gas. They want you to pay $8, $10 a gallon because then you'll have to buy electric. That's the whole point. So when you got uncomfortable with $4.50, that's coming. Promise you. Now, whatever you want to do, that's fine, but that's the direction you're going to go. They're going to give $25,000 to new homeowners. They're going to give Medicare for all for the illegal immigrants. Guys, that's $40 trillion. You think you're paying taxes now? You're not paying anything. That's the evolution of this far left. Bernie, I don't think Bernie wanted $41 trillion added to the deficit. Her electric, passion for the climate was tens of trillions of dollars. Where are we going to pay for that? I mean, Illinois got $1.1 billion in their budget for illegal immigrants this year. So, Diane, you're going to pay more money.
Right.
Somebody's got to pay.
It's not necessarily me. It's the voices that are texting in to 359-2255.
Fisher text line, the Fisher National Bank text line, 217-359-2255. She's the furthest left of left And she doesn't have any explanation. She's from the Bay Area. She's from California.
Right,
What do we expect?
Well, and let's look at California. How does that look? So, anyway.
Everybody's leaving.
I
They're
know.
leaving Illinois. They're leaving California.
Right.
We're going to have red and blue states, and we don't want to deal with that. So people leave the state. I talked to a guy that went to Charleston, South Carolina. He said, best decision ever made, leaving Chicago. So it doesn't have to be bad. Like California is one of the prettiest states in the world, and the life, and it's unbelievable. And they mucked it up with their policies. A lot of the wildfires are because of policy. They didn't want to bring water down because it would hurt the environment. So now it burns. How's that hurting the environment?
Right?
Man.
Okay,
Don't
Cardinals
get me
win.
started, people.
Cardinals win 67-67 on the season now, 4-1 over the Padres. Here's your Redbird recap.
With Ricky Horton, I'm John Rooney, and the Cardinals came off the mat to win the last 2 games in the series, and they won the season series over San Diego, beating them in the 9th inning on Wednesday, and yesterday the Cardinals beat them 4-1.
Great game yesterday. Sonny Gray got the start and the win. He did not give up very many hits. In fact, only 3 Padre hits in the entire game. Cardinals got enough offense to win. Ryan Helsley picked up his 41st save. He's been outstanding.
And Paul Goldschmidt doubled in a run. Mason Wynn hit a home run.
It's been nice to get all those guys active. Mason Wynn has now had multi-hit games in 4 straight games.
And by winning these 2 games, Ricky, the Cardinals, they still have something to play for.
They still do. Just keep winning series.
The Cardinals are in Yankee Stadium tonight. Eric Fetty 8-7 against Marcus Stroman 9-6. We're on the air at 5:10 Central. Ricky will have the lineups at 5:55. I'll bring you the first pitch thrown by Marcus Stroman at 6:05 Central. The Cardinals beat the Padres yesterday 4-1 to split the 4-game series.
The Cardinals Hall of Fame and Museum is the official home of Cardinals history. For those who want to be a part of one of the sport's greatest collections in the world, museum membership is the way to go. Cardinals Museum membership provides unlimited admission for 1 year, exclusive Hall of Fame bobbleheads, discounts, ticket offers, and more, in addition to supporting exhibit design and artifact restoration. There are a variety of membership levels, including our ultimate level of membership. For more info and to join, go to cardinals.com/membership.
Cubs were off yesterday. They've got the Nationals with a 5:45 start over on US 105.9. And Texas over the Chicago White Sox. The White Sox at 7:10 will be hosting the New York Mets. EIU was taken down. Here we talked with Tommy Michaels yesterday, and I was looking for him along the sideline there, the athletic director who played, basketball for, was it Lou Henson?
Lou Henson,
in the early 90s?
I think so.
Anyway, 45-0. And Brett Bielema with his 4-0 home opener start. Next up, number 22, Kansas at 6 o'clock on Saturday. So quick turnaround, all you Illini fans, as we get ready to go next weekend. And, of course, lots of great high school football happening tonight. Here in Rocket Nation, I know at Prairie Central will be the game. So there you go. You can text in on all this, too.
Kansas beat Lindenwood 48-3, so they also won by 45.
Okay.
Weather brought to you by the Urbana Park District.
And, boy, they've got some great things, including a show tonight. If you want to take in the Candlelight Serenade Symphony that starts at 8:30 over by the Lake House. There's the free fitness pass tomorrow and swimming this weekend. UrbanaParks.org.
Look at everyone. Let's check weather free Central Illinois. Champaign and Penn Avenue Saturday. That's second in a string of cold fronts bearing down from the north and west. One more hot, humid day's worth of weather today. Some welcome rainfall across parts of the area later on into the afternoon in particular, and as well as tonight. And instead, back into some cooler, progressively drier air heading on through the Labor Day holiday weekend and beyond. With the day today becoming partly sunny, still hot and humid, a couple of showers and thunderstorms, especially out northwest of Champaign later on this morning, and closer to home for this afternoon, highs up to about 92. Light south-southwesterly wind for tonight, warm and humid. A couple of outbreaks of showers and thunderstorms and better coverages, and a low down to 69. Tomorrow, cooler, turning less humid and isolated shower spots to the morning, then mostly sunny skies to follow, highs to about 83. Sunday outlook, sunshine at 82. Labor Day Monday, partly cloudy, bit cooler at 77. Upper 70s for the day on Tuesday, back into the lower 80s next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Craig Soldier.
You've set your financial goals. One kid plans to go Big Ten, the other Ivy. Your bucket list includes seaside sunrises and sunsets on the slopes, or perhaps a second home away from it all. Busey Bank can help develop the right investment strategy to take charge of the years ahead. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
I'm Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Ulta Beauty shares are down 8% after its disappointing earnings. It's also lowered expectations after sales declined in recent months. Ulta executives say the beauty category is resilient, but customers are focusing on value and competition remains high. Emergent BioSolutions shares up more than 20% after the FDA approved its smallpox vaccine for Mpox disease in patients who are at high risk of infection. NVIDIA shares are recovering some ground this morning, up more than 1%. Barron says Wall Street analysts are still upbeat about NVIDIA. There's encouraging news from Europe. Inflation in the European Union fell sharply this month to 2.2%. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Coselda. Invested in you.
Connect to Fox News Audio on the Fox News app. Listen to hear your favorite hosts like Brian Kilmeade, Jimmy Fallon, and Guy Benson standing up for what's right, live and via podcast. Just click listen, then swipe right and hear the latest news updates on your time. And scroll down to hear the latest podcasts from Fox News. And it's even easier to listen in the car with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Get programming alerts and notifications. Fox News Audio is on the Fox News app. The voices America trusts. Download it now.
Here's another home improvement insight from Kramer Siding and Window. New roofing and siding are a winning combination that can instantly change the look, feel, and function of your home. Our Kramer Siding and Window team takes pride in being an Owens Corning Platinum Preferred contractor, able to offer a best-in-the-business 50-year warranty. Pair it with preservation siding in your favorite style and color, and your home will be a showstopper. Start today and save 10% on roofing and 25% on siding. Call us, click on kramersiding.com, or visit the showroom in Champaign.
Well, wherever you are in your life, college will be closer than you think if you're sending your child to college next year. And there are a lot of seniors going somewhere.
Yep.
You can start with the National College Savings Month, which is in the month of September.
Okay.
With Busey Wealth Management. Busey experts suggest 5 simple tips you save early and often.
Mm-hmm.
If you obviously if you save too much, that's good. Open a college savings account like the 529. The savings will be tax deferred and free from federal income taxes. That's good. Make saving automatic, so it's just institutional, just done. Increase the amount you save each year. Not sure what college is going to cost in 10 years, but I guess it's going to be more. Set a goal and stick to it. Choose a college savings plan that matches your priorities. Busey can sit with you and help you kind of plan this, chart this out. They're going to want to know what your goals are. Busey's financial advisors help you understand your options and what will work best with your time frame. Invest in your child's future today with Busey. For a savings strategy for your family, visit Busey.com. Stop by one of their many convenient locations. Investment products and services not FDIC assured, may lose value. No bank guarantee.
Well, we got another text. Government spending and higher taxes. Cost of living has gone up since the beginning of time. Inflation numbers are skewed because it doesn't count energy and food, 2 basic necessities. Under every presidency, things have gone up. We're always voting for the lesser of 2 evils.
Well, I guess you can say that, but this is all we did this to ourselves. When we stopped the pipeline, when we stopped drilling, when we were not we had energy, we were energy sufficient. America produced our oil. Now we say, well, we can't do it because of climate, so let's Venezuela and China and India and Iran and everybody else dig. And so it's still going to hurt Earth. We do it better than anybody else. We're cleaner than everybody else. We're more conscious. We have more laws than everybody else.
Absolutely.
So if you're not energy independent, then your gas prices go up. That means your delivery charges go up because the truck's got to bring it.
Right.
So totally. And then we spent $5 trillion, and the inflation, because when you print more money, it's worth less. The more you have of something, it's worth less. That means inflation goes up, meaning you need more of it to do it.
Right. I remember having a conversation with my neighbor about getting some solar panels in the backyard, sharing, blah, blah, blah. It all seemed good in my eyes, but he was like, all those parts are made in China. Things are going to fall apart. Where do we get the maintenance? I mean, all this stuff where we're leaning on China too much.
Listen, I'm all for clean. It just has to more evolve and not hurt Americans by paying the high energy costs, because without this lower energy cost, it's going to cost too much to do stuff. But this whatever cloak you put on this is massively liberal and way more liberal than the last 4 years.
Yeah.
Liberal policies, forget the social and the stuff going on with that. I mean, you're just talking about living every day and trying to afford stuff because you're not going to get the raises that inflation has caused over the last 4 years. You're not getting those big raises. You can't keep up with that.
Right.
That means you're paying thousands more every year from your household, and then your credit cards are messed up, and so that's 30% in some of the bad ones.
Ugh.
And it's just very hard to dig out of things like that. So it just, you have a guy that was there, you didn't like him, but he did a good job, and then COVID hit, and it got all messy. But up to the first 3 years, he was going to win in a landslide re-election. Donald Trump was going to win because everything was good. There were no wars. Nothing started. Keep that in mind. Nothing happened in his 4 years. And everything was good economically. Gas prices were $2. A lot of that probably from COVID, and we weren't driving. But they were lower, and he had more of an idea to be energy efficient and self-reliant on ourselves to be able to produce our own energy. Why would we want to depend on oil from Venezuela? What sense does that make? And then the border opening. How many people have died because the border opened? I know Donald Trump's a bigot, but he was right when he said some bad people will come across. He didn't say all bad people. He said there'll be some bad people. Guess what? There's a lot of bad people that have come across, even if it's 5%.
Right.
And what are you doing with the Venezuelan prisoners that they released and won't take back?
We just need a way to vet people and do the proper path, just like every other country in the world.
We don't do it. All right, I want to play Brett Bielema.
Okay.
He got to the microphone late. Again, all our guests will appear on the Tavin's Towing phone line, including Johnny coming up. I got clips, lots of clips from the Kamala. And she talks a little nasal. I'm speaking, Mr. Vice President. That's what they want. They want Donald Trump's mic open September 10 so she can say that.
I know.
She
It's
will
so condescending.
It's just such a, it's some sort of a style of
I just
speech.
feel like I'm being bawled out by the principal
the way she
or
talks
teacher.
The way she talks to people. They're a big country. We're a bigger country. And they're small countries. What are we talking about? Here's Brett Bielema. Get into the microphone.
Yes.
Kind of late, Brett.
Past y'all bedtime. 11:45. Well, two things. I was excited to get in, and I knew we had a bunch of new players, but every time you assemble a team, you just never know really until the bullets are flying how they're going to react. And the fun thing for me as a head coach, I thought I saw today a lot of things that I had seen at practice from our staff, from our coaches, the interaction that they have. One of our first team goals this week was to be able to communicate 100% communication pre and post, and that started on practice through all of our preparation, through walkthrough yesterday, walkthrough today, and then out there today. I thought there was a lot of really good communication. Guys played extremely hard, went out and played well. 24 new guys that have never played a snap in college football for the University of Illinois, so to have that many different faces to go out there and play as well as they did. And then I really, at halftime we were going to start the second half, but I had a feeling if we were going to control that game, kind of make a reassessment at the end of the third, fourth, start getting some new faces in. I thought those guys came in and played extremely hard. They didn't let go of the rope. Wanted to go out there and set an edge. One of our team goals this year is to have a smart, tough, dependable edge to us, and I think those guys did it. So really, really excited for that. Give Chris and his crew, that's a really good football team. I was very nervous, started watching those guys last January, and a team that won 8 games last year, and I know it's FCS, but they're a very good football team that had a lot of juniors and seniors and grad seniors coming back, and a really good football team. Those guys, I bet, will make a lot of noise in their division at this point going forward. So got out of it pretty healthy. I thought Luke threw the ball extremely well. I thought he threw the ball deep, connected on some things. Our defense played very aggressive as they have been. I thought they've attacked the football to get 4 turnovers. Those were all pretty self-created. I don't think there were things they just dropped them. I thought the read and break out of Miles early on the first one, I thought I was sitting and I could see T. Cox read that screen. I saw him break up and make that play. And obviously Dylan Rosiak, that last punch out, he just a guy that plays with that attitude, that demeanor all the time. Just super excited. We'll come in tomorrow, put the film to rest, and then jump into our preparation versus Kansas.
I thought our receivers looked a lot better, and our running backs. I mean, you got 100-yard rusher from Caden Fagan.
Yeah.
You got
108 yards, I think.
Aiden Laufrey had like 80
Oh,
something.
yeah. It was
Gibson
awesome.
City guy. So we have like an Arcola, Arthur guy. And
Pat Bryant looked great.
Yeah, Pat Bryant, 2 touchdown passes. What's his name? Malik Elsley.
Okay.
Made a nice catch.
I didn't
That was
have
a
him
touchdown
down.
in the end zone.
Okay.
Anyway, Illinois.
Luke Hartmeyer with 213 yards.
4 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
No
19 for
interceptions.
24.
Yeah, we'll see how Eastern is. I think they're going to win 6, 7, 8 times. So that was not a really bad team at all. So maybe we're pretty good. So again, big barometer. I've been saying Kansas game is the barometer. That's kind of where we are. They're ranked 22nd and probably as good or better than a lot of the Big Ten teams are going to play. I would say Kansas is better than Northwestern and Purdue and Minnesota. Minnesota won last night. They beat North Carolina. So.
Okay.
All right, Brother Johnny, coming up, we played clips from Kamala's, in quotes, interview last night, although it was taped, just in case.
Right.
What was Tim Walz doing there? It just look weird. We'll be right back. It is 7:30 in Champaign-Urbana. I'm Stevie J. There's Diane Ducey.
Good morning.
Right back.
Fox News. I'm Chris Foster.
One of my highest priorities is to do what we can to support and strengthen the middle class.
Vice President Kamala Harris gives the first interview of her presidential campaign on CNN, talking about President Biden ending his campaign.
I asked him, "Are you sure?" And he said yes. And that's how I learned about it.
She says it would benefit the American public to put a Republican in her cabinet if elected. Former President Trump says if he's elected, fertility treatments will be paid for.
Your government will pay for, or your insurance company will be mandated to pay for, all costs associated with IVF treatment, fertilization for women.
Trump there in Potterville, Michigan. He campaigns in Pennsylvania and Washington, D.C. today. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. A recent impaired driving detail by Champaign County Sheriff's Office in Savoy resulting in 25 tickets and warnings being issued. The Sheriff's Office participating Saturday in Mothers Against Drunk Driving Saturation Saturday detail. It was part of a nationwide effort by law enforcement to crack down on impaired drivers. While students and staff members in the Champaign School District began their school year August 12, many kids still at home without an assigned classroom. The student registration deadline was May 1st, but many families weren't able to sign up at that time and signed up over the summer. Now some of those parents have big questions as they scramble to find a place for their kids to do that learning. A countywide residential electronics collection event being held this fall in Champaign County. The event takes place October 12th at Parkland College. Registration for the event will open up on Monday. To attend, residents of participating Champaign County communities must register online in advance. You're locally up to date from the Stevie Jay Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
All right, Jim, we thank you. ESPN 93.5 with a check of your weather now. Brought to you by Kramer Siding and Window.
Your premier provider for home improvements, specializing in siding, windows, doors, roofing. Visit kramersiding.com.
Look at everyone. Let's check weather for you, Central Illinois, Champaign-Urbana vicinity. Another day's worth of heat and humidity, but that's it. Next in the string of cold fronts on the move, we'll bring some rainfall. Cooler, drier air settles on in over the Labor Day holiday weekend, and a nice spell of weather ahead for much of next week. Coming partly sunny, still hot, humid for the day today. A couple of showers and thunderstorms breaking out north and northwest this morning, and closer to home for this afternoon. Up to 92 on a bit of a south-southwesterly wind for tonight. Warm, humid. A couple of better outbreak coverages of showers and thunderstorms, and low down to 69 to 70. Tomorrow cooler, less humid as the day wears on. An isolated shower early, then mostly sunny skies to follow. Highs up to 83. Sunday outlook, a north breeze, lower humidity, sunshine, and a high around 82. Labor Day Monday, partly cloudy, bit cooler, 77. Back up to 78 on Tuesday, 82 on Wednesday. Highs in the low to mid 80s next Thursday and Friday. Much of next week looking high and dry and very comfortable for late summertime here across East Central Illinois. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solgay.
When your pipes are in a pinch and your drains are feeling the strain, who do you call? The plumbing pros, of course. At Dogtown Heating, Air, and Plumbing, they're your reliable partners in all things plumbing. From leaky faucets to clogged drains, they can get any problem you have cleaned up and taken care of. Their licensed plumbers are on call 24/7, ready to swoop in and save the day whenever a plumbing emergency strikes. Don't let a plumbing problem ruin your day. Call at 217-841-4728 or visit them online at dogtownheatingandair.com. Dogtown Heating, Air, and Plumbing, your home's best friend.
Tapman's Towing, team of experienced tow professionals, is seeking others with CDLs, previous tow experience, and or strong interest in serving others. Please visit our career page at tapmanstowing.com.
All right, Brother Johnny on the road yesterday, traveling to Colorado, Estes Park, Colorado, having orange juice with the grandchildren who are up already for school, where it is 6:35 in Estes Park. Is that right, Johnny?
You betcha. And coming into Estes,
you were giving me a little update. It was 14-0 when I left the Illini because we lost them in the mountains. How'd they end up, Steve?
Yeah, the final score, Illinois got 4 turnovers from Eastern. Luke Altmaier had 4 touchdown passes, the most touchdown passes in the first half since 2015, and West Lunt. Illinois beat Eastern 45-0.
Okay, wow. Well, that's a good game, good start.
Yep.
And now it's Kansas?
Yeah, Kansas coming in as the 22nd ranked team. They also played a team from the Ohio Valley like Eastern is. They played Lindenwood, and they beat them by 45. It was 48-3. So Kansas coming off a solid win as well. And
well,
so
we owe them.
Yeah.
We owe them.
Boy, do we owe them. Yeah. Okay, so
but we did have North Carolina take down Minnesota 1917.
I had said Minnesota won the game because that's what my boy said at coffee, but
they must have not stayed
Well, it was
late.
probably past midnight when that kick came 'cause they were delayed an hour by rain.
That's right.
So it was Minnesota losing to North Carolina by 2 points. So 1917, Big Ten team lost last night. And that's a team we bring to Champaign. That's the team that wants us back after the John Paddock miracle game.
That's right.
Oh, my gosh. Everybody had gone to tailgating it thinking that Minnesota had the game wrapped up. And lo and behold, a 4th and 10.
I was gathered around some TVs in the lot 31 there.
Unbelievable. All right, so Illinois off to a 1-0 start. 6 o'clock kickoff this Saturday against Kansas. Full day of tailgating with a day off. And by the way, on a Thursday, what time did they start lining up for Grange Grove? How about 4:30 in the morning?
Wow.
What? Yeah, 4:30 in the morning, people, because it's first come, first serve at Grange Grove. You can't reserve. And so if they're there for the Eastern opener on Thursday, they're going to be there for Kansas.
Yep.
So I would presume you
may be there now.
Might be there now. Could be there now.
I got my spot right here.
All right, Brother Johnny on the phone. Kamala Harris, new nickname from Donald Trump is Comrade Kamala. Anyway, what she said last night was unsatisfying to me. What I saw, did not see it from wall to wall. It's 20 minutes or so. It wasn't a real long interview. But here's Dana
Well,
Bash.
it wasn't an interview. She still hasn't done an interview. You can't. If me and you go do an interview, that's not me doing an interview. Yeah. It's not the same thing. Right. So, but she won't do it because she thinks this is her best case scenario. Don't say anything. It's the Joe in the Basement sequel.
Well,
and
at least she did something.
Well,
what's that?
At least she did something.
Well, he had the birds going and everything else, but it was just Joe. Of course, he had that pushed up, and they could edit it, I suppose. But this wasn't really live either, huh, Steve?
No, taped it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Here's a little from Dana Bash asking Kamala some questions.
During the Biden-Harris administration, there were record numbers of illegal border crossings. Why did the Biden-Harris administration wait 3.5 years to implement sweeping asylum restrictions?
A bill was crafted, which we supported, which I support, and Donald Trump got word of this bill that would have contributed to securing our border, and because he believes that it would not have helped him politically, he told his folks in Congress, don't put it forward. He killed the bill.
Energy is a big one. When you were in Congress, you supported the Green New Deal. And in 2019, you said, quote, there is no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. Fracking, as you know, is a pretty big issue, particularly in your must-win state of Pennsylvania.
Sure.
Do you still want to ban fracking?
No, as president, I will not ban fracking.
You said that you carried weapons in war, but you have never deployed actually in a war zone. A campaign official said that you misspoke. Did you?
Well, first of all, I'm incredibly proud. I've done 24 years of wearing the uniform of this country. Equally proud of my service in a public school classroom.
New way forward and turn the page on the last decade of what I believe has been contrary to where the spirit of our country really lies.
But the last decade, of course, the last 3.5 years has been part of your administration.
I'm talking about an era that started about a decade ago.
You have been vice president for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
The steps that you're talking about now, why haven't you done them already?
Well, first of all, we had to recover as an economy, and we have done that. I'm very proud of the work that we have done that has brought inflation down to less than 3%.
You were a very staunch defender of President Biden's capacity to serve another 4 years. Right after the debate, you insisted that President Biden is extraordinarily strong. Given where we are now, do you have any regrets about what you told the American people?
No, not at all.
My. Mommy.
Well, so 10 years, if my math's correct, it's been 6 of Obama, Biden, and 4 Trump. And so, yeah, I agree with her. It's been a rough 10 years. We were doing okay for the 4 with Trump,
right,
and then we went back off the rails. But the thing about the border speech, Trump had it pretty well filled up. The famous chart that may have saved his life shows where it just went 4 to 5 times more when Biden took over, and they campaigned on it. They said they'd do it. They all raised their hands. Yep, open border. They opened it. And what they did, they made a very, very weak bill that probably wouldn't have even slowed the immigration, but they had one. And she would have said, we've solved the border crisis. And finally, wouldn't you rather have a president who can actually influence Congress when he's not even in office than one who can't even get anything through when they're in office? There was nothing there.
Here's some.
And now what you got?
I got kind of I think the wink to the left.
The most important and most significant aspect of my policy perspective and decisions is my values have not changed.
My values
you mentioned the Green New
have
Deal.
not changed.
I have always believed, and I have worked on it, that the climate crisis is real, that it is an urgent matter to which we should apply metrics that include holding ourselves to deadlines around time. We did that with the Inflation Reduction Act. We have set goals for the United States of America and by extension the globe around when we should meet certain standards for reduction of greenhouse gas emissions, as an example. That value has not changed. My value around what we need to do to secure our border, that value has not changed. I spent 2 terms as the Attorney General of California prosecuting transnational criminal organizations, violations of American laws regarding the illegal passage of guns, drugs, and human beings.
And how long did you spend bailing out people that burned down Minneapolis, I wonder? It's just so hard to hear. Here's my favorite clip from the last debate. This is why she wants open mics for Donald Trump, because he'll interrupt her. And this is her, I'm speaking. You got to hear this, Johnny, with Mike Pence.
He said, because the president wanted people to remain calm.
Well, let's get
but Susan, this is important.
Susan,
I want to add, Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
I have to
I'm
weigh
speaking.
in.
I'm speaking.
Yeah, let's talk about packing the court then. Let's talk about the fact. Yeah, I'm about to. $400,000
He said he's
a year.
going to repeal the Trump tax cuts.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Well,
I'm speaking.
be important if you said the truth. Yes.
If you don't mind letting me finish.
I'm speaking.
We can then have a conversation, okay?
Please.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, there's too much to just unpack there. But her values have not changed. She will do absolute anything to get what she wants. There's no rules. And that means change her mind, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And she has no real integrity, I don't believe. But anyway, she was talking about the climate change, which we haven't really talked that much about. But first of all, that's her first premise that knocks her off base. Another reason we don't have a climate change crisis based on humanity. Higher carbon emissions is why we have such incredible crop yields. That's what makes trees grow. And it's what they're talking about is parts per million of carbon dioxide in the air. See, it's gone from 300 to 400 since 1700. And it's averaged over the last, however, the geologists have found it's around the 2,700 part per million average over the last, whatever they say, million years. They can drill down into the Arctic and to Greenland ice surfaces to get data from way, way back. And it's gone as high as 7,000 parts per million. We're still here. We're at 400. You go back, it's called the Permian period. You can fact check me or just look it up on your phone, Permian. That's the last time the planet's been this cold, Steve. It was 250 million years ago. Okay. Now, she wants to stop flying and shut down coal and oil, our cheapest and easiest form of energy, which we have centuries left. And we're not ready for all the alternatives. And we're going to suffer for it, with no regard whatsoever for the fact that when we shut down, someone who doesn't do it as clean picks it up. The actual net gain zero on the planet, because Venezuela and Iran and China don't do what the job we do for the products that will be replaced if the Americans stop building them. It's wild, and I think it's a political. I think someone said this was not about climate change; it was about changing, transforming America. It's so we don't have enough time to go through all she's saying.
Yeah.
But I can see just from those clips why they are keeping her under wraps.
Yeah, right. No. All right, so I wanted to play a little RFK Jr. He's totally, I mean, when no matter, they're calling him stupid, crazy, dumb, unloyal, whatever words they want to use for RFK Jr. But here's what he told Tucker Carlson about what happened when the Biden administration took office in 2021, January 20, 2021.
37 hours after he took the oath of office, President Biden's White House opened up a portal for the FBI to begin to have access to social media posts on all the different social media sites. And the FBI then invited in the CIA, the DHS, the IRS, and CISA. CISA is this new agency that is the center of the censorship industrial complex that is in charge of making sure Americans don't hear things that their government doesn't want them to hear. And those agencies and other agencies, including the health agencies like CDC, were given access to go into the social media sites and change posts and slow walk things and shadow ban posts. That it was part of that effort. They removed my Instagram account. I had almost 1 million followers. They say it was for misinformation, but they could not point to a single post that I ever made that was factually erroneous. And they actually, Facebook pushed back in the email chain. You can see Facebook pushing back at the White House and saying, well, wait a minute, he's not, this isn't misinformation. This is not factually erroneous. What they're saying is actually true. And they had to invent a new word, which is called malinformation, which is information that is factually true, but nevertheless inconvenient for the government. And that became disinformation, misinformation, and malinformation. That's what that is. So everybody, and
isn't that illegal? That's illegal.
Yeah, and the emails show that Facebook, the people said they were saying about the White House in their private emails with each other. These people are cynical, terrible people, and they knew what they were doing was breaking the law.
All right, well, that's they've had it wired since they started, Johnny, and this is going to get worse if they're going to control the speech, right? That's called free speech, right?
Well, I mean, Steve, let's just take your first-hand testimony. If we talk about certain things inconvenient to the narrative of our government, you could be boosted.
Yeah.
They take away your listeners.
Yeah.
There's an old saying that evil cannot prosper. I think it's actually it goes the other way. The only way that evil can prosper is for a good people to do nothing. Mm-hmm. One way to effectively stop good people from doing anything is to shut them up, silence them, intimidate them. They didn't say anything. No one heard them. And they're stopping the truth from being heard so they can sell the lies. This is as old as the Roman Empire. Older. This goes back to when, right out of the Garden of Eden, we started with this. And so, but it works, and that's what evil goes back to it. But that's very interesting. That's Bobby Kennedy, Steve. Bobby Kennedy.
No, Bobby Kennedy.
That's Bobby right there.
I'm telling you what, he's going to be in Trump's cabinet if Donald Trump were to win. So,
but you know why I always like Bobby Kennedy? He told you what he thought, and he believed it. He did not lie and manipulate. Bobby Kennedy believed what he was saying.
You're talking about his dad? His dad?
His dad, now his son, both of them.
Yeah.
And so, I think him moving is a pretty big They liked the vibes and emotion. That was a bad vibe for the Democrats.
Yeah.
So that's a good emotion for the Republicans, because it's like, you don't have to vote Democrat. It's okay with my dad. It's okay with my uncle. These people probably, John Kennedy wouldn't have voted for Kamala Harris to be president. That's my opinion.
All right, finally, RFK put this ad out. He paid for this advertisement. Here it is.
Are you or your loved ones suffering from illnesses such as TDS, also known as Trump derangement syndrome? Do you dismiss or deny the current issues facing our country, such as historic inflation, illegal immigration, corporate corruption, World War III escalations, and the chronic disease epidemic? Are you willing to elect someone who was the least popular vice president in modern history, and who offers no policy or vision for America simply because your brain keeps telling you anyone but Trump? If so, you might be struggling from TDS. Introducing Independence. Independence allows you the freedom to finally think independently once again. Instead of believing everything you hear from the mainstream media, Independence allows for constructive critical thinking.
I used to hear people on the news say things like,
Donald Trump and the movement he has encouraged are a threat to democracy.
And I instantly believed it. With Independence, I now realize the media is run by the Democrat elite, who are a corrupt oligarchy that censors free speech, silences political opponents, supports forever wars, and abandons democracy by anointing its candidates.
Independence may not be for everyone. If you enjoy being lied to about your president's cognitive abilities, support Orwellian totalitarianism, or are excited about communist fiscal policy, Independence may not be right for you. Common side effects of Independence may include an awakening of rational thought, successfully identifying propaganda, freedom of choice, loss of hatred, anti-narcissistic behavior, and love of democracy.
I used to blindly hate whoever my party was running against. I didn't care about facts or policy because I was hopelessly indoctrinated. With Independence, I'm much more interested in policies that uphold democracy, and I truly care about the health of our country and its citizens.
Ask your doctor if Independence is right for you, and enjoy your freedoms once again.
I think that's brilliant. I really do.
It's a long ad. It's really hits the high points, and he's making all the really just the fundamental. We call it common sense because it's really not a party thing. And I don't know about Trump derangement syndrome, because if you talk about gender affirming health care for kids and giving illegal aliens houses, that's just deranged. Yeah. Trump has nothing to do with that. Yeah, right. And then you can go on, open the borders and not enforcing simple little laws like taking a cartload of groceries out. Well, we're going to let them. We can't do anything.
No.
Well, that's deranged.
What they've got people, was it in Colorado? Was that where the migrants were taking over these, strong-arming these people trying to stay in an apartment? And I think it's Colorado. And they went out there and they took over with weapons, banging on doors, breaking in doors, and essentially taking over apartment complexes. And where's the police? What's going on?
Well, it's called, so Colorado is solid blue since, and this is just, you go look it up, since they mail every single voting ballot out. There's drop boxes, and you don't sign your ballot. You sign across the seal of the envelope. So it's 90% Democrat. That's how that works. If you make it that easy to cheat, someone's going to cheat. And I'm not saying it's the Democrat. I'm saying there's enough people in that camp that'll take advantage of very weak voting processes. And you see it up front and personal, Steve. If you have same-day registration, there is just simply no way to validate a vote. All you can do is say, well, I guess it was a real vote. That's all you can do. There's no way to validate it. And you can argue till you're blue in the face. There's no way you can register the same day and say, well, the signature matches. Matches what? It's the same day. It's the same person.
Yeah.
What if that person wasn't eligible? What if it wasn't even that person? Did you call all those people? Of course not. The votes show up in boxes. And every precinct guy, in order to let someone register the same day and vote, can print a ballot. So that's open. You can print ballots. So that's too easy. That's what I'm saying. Oh. And when those systems exist, it's all blue.
It's Brother Johnny. We appreciate the time from Estes Park, Colorado this morning, Johnny. And fortunately...
And by the way, there's a lot... we don't run into all this blue over here. Now, Boulder's really liberal, but it's a big college town.
Right,
but
right.
No, it's like Champaign's 50-50 roughly.
Yeah, right,
you know?
right. It's
and it's 90% Democrat.
No, it's right. No, it's well, the Republicans didn't vote last time. Every Republican has to go and vote. That's number one. You got to go.
Well,
you got to go vote.
I'm afraid that the students are allowed to same-day register and vote. I just don't think there's a limit to how many students will vote. Let's just say will vote.
Well, and also it's very difficult to track that they didn't vote in Naperville. I don't know if they're talking to each other that way. Yeah. Anyway, we got to go, Johnny. But thank you for the time. And fortunately, God has us. We're good. I mean, it's
no. Look, Steve. I like where we are. Kamala, that wasn't that impressive. And what's wrong with Dana Besh? Something's wrong with her. We're having that hardline liberal. I got to cover.
Yeah,
people.
Yeah, I don't know if she did that. No,
I like. Last thing, Tim Walsh was great. What about carrying in arms? Well, first of all, I'm very proud. And second of all, I'm not going to answer that question.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. No, we got it. Well, listen, safe travels. Have fun out in Estes Park with the grandkids. Appreciate jumping on, Johnny.
Thank you, Steve.
All right, talk soon. Brother Johnny out in Colorado this morning, ESPN 93.5 on the Tapman's Showing phone line. All of our texts come in on the Fisher National Bank text line. You can text us at 217-359-2255. Being that this is the last day of August that we're going to talk, we are going to celebrate our law enforcement. We celebrate unabashedly, proudly, and importantly, the work that law enforcement does.
Absolutely.
Nobody's ever said they're perfect. Nobody's ever said that about you or your office either. That's just how it is. Police do a ridiculously difficult job, and they continue to do it in the face of adversity, in the face of lack of respect that one particular party has pushed on us for about 10 years. But we celebrate them here, appreciate what they do, and we're going to meet another outstanding law enforcement official coming up in just a few moments.
From Muhammad.
We've never had Muhammad out here, so we're going to get that going.
And the Music Fest was last weekend, and that was so fun. And that's where I met our Officer of the Month for September.
We're going to meet Jose Rivera, Muhammad Police Officer. That's next. Stand by. It is 7:57.
Does your bank keep rewards just out of reach? Hi, this is Ryan Heiser, President and CEO of Fisher National Bank. While some banks save their reward programs for a select few, here at Fisher National, we offer free rewards checking to all of our customers. We are trying to reward you for the things you do every day. Simply make 12 debit card purchases, receive a statement electronically, and have at least one direct deposit in a monthly cycle. It's as easy as that. Rewards checking includes excellent 2.0 annual percentage yield for balances up to $20,000 and ATM refunds up to $20. Oh, and no minimum balance is required. Free rewards checking from Fisher National Bank. Rewards within reach and service beyond. See monthly requirements at fishernational.com or stop by one of our branches today. Our team looks forward to serving you.
Fisher National Bank. Exceptional communities, exceptional people. Member FDIC.
You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
Pia's has Karaoke Fridays, the second and fourth Friday of the month after 9 p.m. Get into your weekend with $5 Crown Royal drinks plus $4 Fireball Friday shots. Tequila Tuesdays go south of the border with drink specials. And from 11 to 2, get lunch with a big taco for only $2.75. Wednesdays are wild with mason jar drinks, and it's country night. Happy Thursday with $5 Jack drinks and $4 Happy Dad and Happy Thursday seltzers. Every day is a good day at Pia's.
This is Eric Bolin with Provident Financial Group. Political news is sure to dominate the headlines in 2024, adding uncertainty to the markets. This makes a disciplined investment strategy even more critical to achieving your long-term goals. To assure your investments are aligned with your objectives, Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
When it comes to finding a reliable vehicle, you're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
President Kamala Harris fielding questions from CNN in her first sit-down since President Joe Biden dropped out of the race.
I think history is going to show a number of things about Joe Biden's presidency. I think history is going to show that in so many ways it was transformative.
She shifted positions on fracking and the border, but says her values have not changed.
We've been looking for policy details from the vice president, but this was her painting in still pretty broad strokes in her first sit-down interview since becoming a candidate more than a month ago. But Harris had difficulty explaining some of the abrupt reversals that we've seen in recent weeks on everything from electric vehicle mandates and the border wall to her now former opposition to fracking. Now, for his part, VP nominee Tim Walz was asked about his assertion that he carried a weapon in war. After never having actually been in combat, he blamed that on an error in his grammar.
That is Fox's Douglas Zader. Former President Trump is set to appear at the annual gathering of Moms for Liberty today, but first he's going to visit another battleground state for a rally.
Former President Trump will speak in Johnstown, Pennsylvania Friday afternoon. He's been traveling around the country holding rallies in critical swing states, hoping to combat what has been, as of late, a surge by the Democratic ticket led by Vice President Kamala Harris. The Johnstown rally comes 2 months after the attempted assassination in Butler, Pennsylvania. Today's rally will be an indoor event. Recent polling has former President Trump and Vice President Harris virtually tied in Pennsylvania with less than 10 weeks to Election Day. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Now, yesterday, the former president made the pitch for free IVF treatments and said a 6-week abortion ban in Florida is too short. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey, checking in?
This is not just your flu shot appointment at Walgreens.
Yes.
Yeah. This is getting your entire family vaccinated in one trip.
Hey, Mom?
And a snack on the way out. Get flu shots for everyone in your family, together. Schedule appointments online today. This is wellness made easy. Walgreens.
Vaccine subject to availability and for ages 3+. State and health-related restrictions may apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Some rules for next month's presidential debate appear to still be in doubt.
Representatives from the Trump and Harris campaigns are exchanging conflicting statements about whether microphones will be muted when the former president and vice president debate on ABC News on September 10th. Earlier this week, former President Trump said he would participate in the debate using the same format as the June debate on CNN. That debate kept microphones muted if it wasn't the candidate's turn to speak. But the Harris campaign has pushed to have microphones live for the duration. A spokesperson says handlers for the former president don't trust him to spar with Harris. The Harris campaign also denies it requested a seated debate with notes and opening statements. Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The Supreme Court keeping a block on President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan. Fox Business Network's Edward Lawrence reporting from the White House.
The fallout is still defiance from this administration. This
So the Supreme Court squashed the dreams of President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris to give that student loan forgiveness leading up to this election. The decision here has maintained that no more student bailout money would go out until after the merits of the case are litigated, but the administration is still taking applications. Now, so far, taxpayers have paid $168 billion to forgive loans for about 4.8 million people. In a tweet, the vice president saying, "We are also fighting to defend our SAVE plan, which has lowered payments for millions of Americans. We won't stop fighting to build an economy that works for every American."
Meanwhile, tragedy in the hockey world. The Columbus Blue Jackets confirming forward Johnny Gaudreau is dead. The 31-year-old, nicknamed Johnny Hockey, and his brother were killed last night while biking in Salem County, New Jersey, after being hit by a vehicle. New Jersey State Police are investigating the accident. And inflation continued to moderate in July, though there weren't any big changes. The PCE reading for the year ending in July came in as expected at 2.5%. I'm Gianna Gelosi. This is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. High school football kicking off, and it's going to be a special one for Muhammad Seymour. They'll be honoring longtime coach Frank Dutton after he passed away this past spring. Their helmets will have 2 decals on them for every home game. One will have his name on it, the other 77. In 1977, Muhammad Seymour won the state championship under his leadership. A countywide residential electronics collection event being held this fall in Champaign County. It'll take place October 12th at Parkland College. Registration for the event opens on Monday. To attend, residents of participating Champaign County communities must register online in advance. Work begins next week on the Route 108 bridge over I-55 near Carlinville. Crews will begin painting and washing the underside of the bridge Tuesday. Weeknight lane closures on I-55 will be needed to complete that project, which is expected to be finished by the end of November. And that's what's happening. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. You're locally up to date from the Stevie Jay Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Right, thank you, Jim. Our weather this morning with our meteorologist, Greg Solier, brought to you by Busey Bank. For over 155 years, it's been Busey, member FDIC, 806. We're going to celebrate law enforcement here, Mr. Meteorologist, in just a few moments and meet Muhammad Police Officer Jose Rivera. That's coming up next.
But coming into the Labor Day holiday weekend, traveling is up. So what's it looking like for people who are heading out of town?
Cold front and showers and thunderstorms, they are not severe, but are providing some much-needed rain. Welcome rain, but probably, obviously, ponding on the roadways, and visibility is down a little bit through the northern reaches of the state into eastern Iowa. The farther west-northwest you go, the far more comfortable it gets, and other than maybe an errant shower through the upper Midwest, no issues there, but it's the cold front that'll be coming through our neck of the woods later on tonight, and behind it, again, on a refreshing air mass, and you'll just kind of follow those showers and thunderstorms to the east and south towards the Ohio. Wet weather in the southern plains, the Gulf Coast, the southeastern states over the holiday weekend and early next week, and that is much needed rain in some of those southern plain states areas of Texas and the lower Mississippi Valley Delta region. Tropics, by the way, if you're going to be in through Florida, the Gulf Coast, quiet for now. Anything can brew on up, but nothing foreseen in the next couple or 2 or 3 days. So one more hot one around here with a partly sunny sky. Been watching those showers and thunderstorms over the northern end of the state. 1 or 2 may pop off northwest of us later this morning, more likely scattered in coverage this afternoon. And a high around 92. Showers and thunderstorms will get a pretty widespread swath or 2 to come through the area. First half of tonight will bottom out near 70. Still humid, but humidity, dew points slowly fall throughout the day tomorrow. Maybe an early morning shower in spots, and skies bright and sunshine for the midday and afternoon. And a high temperature for the day tomorrow expected into the low and mid 80s. We'll be into the 70s for highs over the Sunday and Monday time frame around here, and then into the lower 80s for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week, including Tuesday. And again,
Believe about police, I believe we'd be absolutely anarchy and chaos without them. If they don't answer my 911, I got to defend my backyard, and I don't want to do that. I am Stevie Jay. That is Diane Ducey.
Good morning.
Let's meet Muhammad Police Officer Jose Rivera. Thanks for driving out here.
Hello, how are you doing?
Nice to have you here, Officer Rivera. Now tell me
so
about
positive.
Well,
with
he's
great
got
energy.
An energy coming in here. I want to know what it was like 10 years ago when you left Puerto Rico. Was it San Juan? Where were you from?
So I'm from Catania, so that's south from San Juan, from
Okay.
our capital. At some point, we thought we needed a change in our lives and had a better place for our kids to grow.
I love Puerto Rico. I visited many times.
Oh, I love to visit that place. It's
But
beautiful.
obviously you wanted to come here. What was it like based on what you expected America to be like?
So first of all, I like my first impression, it was cold.
How'd you come here, though? Why Champaign-Urbana region?
So it started with a missionary trip.
Okay.
So my father and mother-in-law had a missionary trip. They were just growing a church, and they came up with a vision. We were just the son-in-law and the daughter. And suddenly came the idea of like, hey, let's just try something. I came here for a week or two. I saw a game of football in the Illinois Stadium. And I was like, I want my kids to grow in a place like this.
Atmosphere. You like the atmosphere.
Yes, love it.
Yeah. All right, so you got here. You didn't speak English, right? You had to learn it kind of on the fly. You got a job, became a supervisor.
Correct.
Was it your father that inspired you to go to law enforcement?
So my father, all right, so I grew up in a place that it was not great. My father used to abuse substance. He was an alcoholic. He was a mess, And through all of these things, you can see so much negative in his life. However, he served the Army for around more than 22 years. And one thing that didn't stain was that pride he had that he served, how he felt. It's just like it was like this calling, like, hey, we need more law enforcement. We need more people to serve. Where are they at? I was like, I'm here.
Yeah.
And I give my all. I put myself in that place. I exposed myself. I had a lot of weaknesses, First of all, is my language. It was like just this big wall. However, I just needed to serve. I just needed to serve my community.
So you're Champaign County Sheriff's Deputy, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay. And then the Muhammad job came up almost a year ago, coming up September 11th of 1 year.
Yes.
For you. And so has it been what you expected?
It has been more than what I was expecting.
Why?
Every day I put my uniform on, it's a new opportunity for somebody. This job is just gorgeous. Like every word, every action you take can make a change in somebody's life, in the kid, in the elderly, in the person that have a criminal mind, and the person that didn't have the best. You can make a change, and I have that opportunity. And I know there's a lot of officers out there that every time they put their uniform, they have that purpose. Make a change.
What do your kids think you do?
Well, my kids are my hero.
I mean, how old are they?
They're 9 and 12.
Wow.
They just see me with these high expectations.
Yeah. So you're helping people on not their best day, maybe, right? I mean,
for sure, yeah.
But you enjoy that.
I do enjoy that. I do enjoy that in the chaos. You can be a seed.
Yeah.
Maybe you can fix a problem right away, but you can give your all to make it better.
Well, it's nice to have somebody who loves what they do every day, and that's exciting. And so they're looking for people to hire into Muhammad Police, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a great place. It was hard for me to grow up in law enforcement. However, this department gave their all to help me be who I am today.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, it's Jose Rivera, who is on the Muhammad Police Force.
And we're hearing from Rebecca Goodwin and Michael Metzler about, how they just love your...
Well, Chief Metzler wrote this kind of biography about you, and it's wonderfully inspiring, and they tell them about what you do every day, Jose.
So, first of all, I would like to apologize if police disrupt you in your dailies and just left a bad impression in your life and just left you with a bitterness in your heart against law enforcement. I want to apologize for them, and I want to be the face that can tell you that, that we're sorry. We are here to give our all for you. Like maybe when you were a kid, law enforcement came through your door and took mom or dad. We're sorry. we're just thinking of we have your best interests. We are here to try to make the best of us.
Very passionate. I love you. I mean,
Again,
you're doing a great job. I mean, you're really, really trying to explain that some people do have bad experiences, but most of the time, if everybody did what they were asked to do on a stop, Jose, there would be no problem. A lot of people are drunk, drugged up, thinking you're going to hurt them. If they all just followed the directions, there would be almost no incidents ever with police, in my opinion. And so that's what you're doing every day. You're keeping Muhammad safe, and it's growing. I mean, the town is growing. This business is going left and right.
Well, when I ran into you at the Muhammad Music Fest, that was your first experience with that
What did you think of that
event.
That experience was great. You know, everybody was happy.
A party, huh?
Yeah.
And you seem to be interacting with the kids so much, and that has a great ripple effect, Officer Jose. So just know you're doing good things in Muhammad.
Well,
Thank you.
It's a bright light, and he's sharing it out in Muhammad. They're lucky to have you. If you need an agent, let me know. Anyway, good to have you. Thanks for coming to Philo. Thanks for being in our studio. Congratulations on your success in America and coming from such a wonderful place like Puerto Rico. I love Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
We used to play on the Fort Wall a lot in San Juan. We were there a number of times with cruises, and so the kids loved playing on the forts and the cannons and all the things.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful, and we loved the food there. We loved just some beautiful, beautiful places. But thank you so much for